Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1981 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Yankees is Stefan Wever, whose record is 0-0 with a 2.25 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers is Jack Morris, whose record is 1-0 with a 2.25 ERA. And so we suffered the loss in the second game of the series yesterday. We did have a couple home runs, including Gibby and Steve Kemp. And it's just kind of odd that we lost the second game of the Twins series, and we lost the second game of the Yankees series. So hopefully that means we'll get a win here before we head on the road to Kansas City to play the Royals. So let's go ahead and get started with today's game. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and that way you won't miss a single game. We will not have Pat Underwood available in the bullpen. He pitched 3 innings yesterday, didn't give up any runs. Very impressive. So we get Cappy and Schatzeder back because they were tired and not available for yesterday's game. And the lineup is basically the same. We gave Parrish today off yesterday, and Putman was in there. So we put Parrish back in, and otherwise everything else is the same. So let's switch it over to the season stats, and then we'll do the Yankees rundown. So here we go. Batting leadoff and playing second base is Willie Randolph. Batting second and at third is Joe Lefebvre. Batting third and in right field is Claude L Washington. Batting cleanup and DHing is Dennis Worth. Batting fifth and catching is Ron Hassey. Batting sixth and in left field is Oscar Gamble. Batting seventh and at first base is Chris Chambliss. Batting eighth and in center field is Rupert Jones. And batting ninth and at shortstop is Brian Doyle. So that's the same lineup the Yankees have used the first 2 games of the series. And here's Jack Morris. He's facing the Yanks today, making his second start of the season. He won his first start, pitched pretty well, giving up only 6 hits in 8 innings. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts, looking pretty good. Hopefully he can keep the strong pitching going here against the tough Yankees lineup. So here's Willie Randolph leading off. He was an all-star last year at second base, as you can see here on his baseball card. He grounds out to JT at first. So 1 down. Next up is Joe Lefebvre, and Morris strikes out Lefebvre for the second out. Lefebvre really struggling, batting .048 early on. And that'll leave it up to Claude L Washington, who had a home run in yesterday's game as he hits a ground ball right back at Morris and a 1-2-3 inning. So we go to the bottom of the first, no score. Let's go ahead and do the Tigers lineup. And I should mention that while we're doing the lineup, if you want to take a longer look at the statistics, all you got to do, just pause it, and you can look as long as you like. So batting leadoff and playing second base is Sweet Lou Whitaker. Batting second and at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third at first base is Jason Thompson. Batting cleanup and in left field is Steve Kemp. Batting fifth in right field is Gary Hancock. Batting sixth and at third base is Wayne Gross. Batting seventh and catching today is Lance Parrish. Batting eighth and at DH is Kirk Gibson. And batting ninth in center field is Omar Moreno. And on the mound for the Yanks is Stefan Wever. Wever was a sixth round draft pick by the Yankees in 1979. He was actually born in West Germany, moved over to California, and went to school in Santa Barbara. He went to Cal Berkeley and got a degree there in English. He was an English major. He pitched in only one game in the major leagues. It was actually in 1982, so we haven't got there yet. But he took the loss against the Brewers. He pitched 2.2 innings, gave up 8 runs, and he suffered a shoulder injury in that start. And he tried to pitch through it for 2 years before he had surgery in 1984. And he was unable to make it back to the majors. So he retired in 1985. And he now owns the Horseshoe Tavern in San Francisco's Marina District. And as you can see, in 1980, the season we played last year, he went 14-1 as a starter, starting 20 games with a 2.34 ERA. So opponents are batted under 200 against him. So he was a pretty strong pitcher for the Yankees last year and definitely helped the Yanks win the division. And he's going to face Lou Whitaker leading off here in the bottom of the first. And Whitaker flies out to left field. So one down for Trammell. And Trammell hits it right back to Weaver. I've never found out, I know we discussed this in last season, if it was Wever or Weaver. I'm not sure, to be honest. But we'll say Weaver. Why not? As JT flies out to left center field, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Yankees. So to the top of the second, Dennis Worth leading off. Worth 4 for 6 with a home run against Jack Morris as he flies out to right field. Next up is Ron Hassey, and Morris hits Hassey right in the knee. So Hassey takes his base at first, and definitely a possible double play candidate here is Oscar Gamble. As you can see down here, he won the Gold Glove in left field last year. And Gamble's going to pop it up on the infield. Whitaker makes the catch. So 2 down. Hassey on first for Chris Chambliss. And Chambliss is going to pop it to Whitaker. And then it's a third out. So we go to the bottom of the second. No score. Steve Kemp leading off. And he's going to get an infield to hit for the Tigers' first hit. First hit of the game for anyone. And we're going to hit and run with Gary Hancock. We didn't do this a lot last year. But he's got an 87 contact, so he doesn't strike out much. And he hits a ground ball to third, so Kemp does advance. And Wayne Gross has a shot to drive him in. But instead he hits a ground ball to short, and Doyle makes the play. So 2 down for Lance Parrish. 0 for 3 last year against Wever. And there's a base hit down the right field line. An RBI double for Parrish, and the Tigers are on the board. Parrish off to a good start, and having the day off yesterday maybe made a difference as Gibson takes the third strike looking. We go to the top of the third, 1-0 Detroit. Rupert Jones leading off. And Jones hits a ground ball to third. Wayne Gross guns him down. That's 1 out. Here's Brian Doyle, definitely a thorn in our side, as he hits a fly ball to center field and it falls in for a hit. We could just never get this guy out as we get to the top of the lineup again with Willie Randolph hitting a fly ball to center field, and Moreno makes the catch. And that'll leave it up to Joe LaFave. And LaFave hits a line drive right at Thompson. And that is the third out. So we go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Detroit. Omar Moreno leading off. Moreno's got 4 doubles so far this season. as he gets a base hit just past Willie Randolph there at second base. So we're going to attempt to steal second base on Ron Hasse with Moreno, and he's gunned down by Hasse on a high fastball. So Moreno just has not been successful for us in the stolen base department. He was 10 out of 17 last year, and he's 0 for 1 so far. With that 96 speed, you think he'd be better than 70% as Whitaker pops it up here in his second at bat, and Chambliss makes the catch. So 2 down for Tram, and Tram rips it into left for a base hit. So, you know what? Let's try to steal again. This time with Trammell. High fastball. This time, Trammell beats the throw. So, runner in scoring position for JT. And Thompson hits a line drive to second. And that's going to end the inning. Go to the top of the fourth. 1-0 Detroit. Here's Claude L Washington. As you can see with the banner up here, he was the National League MVP for the New York Mets. And Washington hits a fly ball into left center field. Caught by Kemp. That's 1 out. Next up is Dennis Worth, and he hits a pop-up into foul ground on the third base side. And Gross makes the catch. And with 2 outs, Ron Hasse steps in and hits a fly ball to dead center field, and it's gone for a home run. That's Hasse's second home run on the year, 462 feet. So Oscar Gamble tried to follow that up, but he hits a ground ball right back to Morris, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0. Steve Kemp leading off the inning. And Kemp hits a ground ball to short. Doyle makes the play. With 1 down, Gary Hancock hits a ground ball to third. And that'll leave it up to Wayne Gross, who pops up an inside pitch to third. And the play is made by Joe Lefebvre. So we're going to the top of the fifth. Morris is at 50 pitches as Chris Chambliss steps in, and he hits a ground ball to Sweet Lou. Lou makes the play. Next up is Rupert Jones, hitting a ball right back to Morris. And that's the second out. And here's the number 9 hitter, Brian Doyle. Got a base hit his last time up. And he pops out to Trammell. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still tied at 1. Here's Parrish, knocked in the Tigers' only run, hitting a ground ball to Joe Lefebvre. With 1 down, Gibby steps in. And he's got a ground ball to short. This game's moving right along. Not a lot of action. And there's Omar Moreno grounding out to first. To the top of the sixth. 1-1. And Willie Randolph's going to hit it down the right field line, and he's got himself a double. So runner in scoring position for Joe Lefebvre. And Morris walks the 045 hitter. And here's Claude L Washington. We're going to guard the lines. Oh, man. And that was the right move, but Washington hits a double off the right field wall, scoring Randolph from second. Lefebvre takes third, and it's 2-1. And we've got to pull the infield in now. We cannot give up another run. As Worth hits a ground ball right to Whitaker. Whitaker goes home and gets that lead runner. So now it's 1 down. And Ron Hasse's up. This is the perfect guy to get a double play. as Hassey hits it right back to Morris. And they turn 2 to get out of it. Okay, well, we limit the damage to just 1 run. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1. Yankees. Lou Whitaker leading off the inning. He hits a fly ball to right. There's 1 down. Next up is Trammell. Hey, there's a base hit for Trammell. Hitting it the opposite way. So 2 hits for Tram today and that stolen base. We're going to let Thompson swing away. Ooh, and Weaver walks Thompson. So first and second, 1 down. And, man, we got to let Kemp swing away here. Full count. And a ground ball right to short. That'll be 2. That's a bummer. We go to the top of the 7th. 2-1. Let's flip it over to the in-game stats. And, wow, I guess the MVP of the game, player of the game right now is probably Trammell again. He's already won it twice as Oscar Gamble steps in and he hits a fly ball dead center field. And it is gone 453 feet. When the Yankees hit them, they stay hit. And it's 3-1 with Chris Chambliss stepping in. And he hits a line drive right at Thompson. There's 1 down. Next up is Rupert Jones. Jones hits a ground ball to second. 2 down. And finally, number 9 hitter Brian Doyle. And Doyle hits a ground ball to Thompson as well. So, consecutive innings with the Yankees hitting a home run. And they have a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Gary Hancock leading off the inning. He strikes out. That is something that he rarely does. 2 Ks now for Wever. Wayne Gross up next, hitting a ground ball to third. And that'll leave it up to Parrish. He strikes out looking, so Tigers cannot get anything going. Morris is at 98 pitches, and 2 of the next 4 batters are righties, so we're going to let Morris pitch. And he strikes out Randolph. That's 2 Ks for Morris. So 2 down. Here's Joe LaFave. He hits a ground ball right back to Jack. That's the second out. Next up, Claude L Washington. And Washington hits a ground ball to Thompson, who steps on the bag. A 1-2-3 inning. And here we are, bottom of the 8th. You got Gibby leading off. Weber's only at 79 pitches as Gibby takes him to a full count, pops it up to third. So that's a, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pitch at bat. Next up is Omar Moreno. He's popping it straight up past second base onto the outfield grass. It's 2 down. Come on, Luke. We need some kind of a rally here. And Whitaker hits it all the way to the warning track, 438 feet, but not far enough. And we're going to let Morris pitch to Worth, and then we're going to bring in a lefty. And Morris, great job as he strikes out Worth, and maybe deserved a better fate. I was watching the Tigers game on TV, and you know Jack Morris is the color commentator for the Tigers, and he mentioned that he'd given up 40 home runs in one season, and he gave up 2 long balls today, so he is not impervious to giving up the home run. As Cappy comes in, gets back-to-back lefties, and sends us to the bottom of the ninth. We've got our 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Wever at 93 pitches. Trammell 2 for 3 on the day. And 3 for 4 as he gets a base hit up the middle. Oh, and an error by Rupert Jones allows Trammell to go to second base. I mean, that run doesn't mean much unless we can get a rally going. As Thompson walks, we're going to take Thompson out. He is the tying run. We're going to bring in somebody fast, like Tom Brookins, who I believe is the second fastest on the team. He's 94. Stegman is 87. So Brookins it is. So we got some speed on the base pass with Trammell and Brookins. And we're going to let Kemp swing away. He's 1 for 3 on the day. And Kemp pulls it to first. They can only get the one runner at first base. So we have the tying run in scoring position now for Gary Hancock, who is clutch. Batting .321 last year against righties. And he gets a ground ball to short. And Trammell scores. Brookins has to hold. And it's 3-2, and I feel like this is what they do every time. They tease us. And then we get let down. Oh, no, we're not getting let down this time as Wayne Gross hits it into the gap in left center field. And Brookins scores. Gross has himself a double and the game-tying RBI, so that's clutch. And let's see if Parrish can give us the win. Oh, he's going to bloop it into right center field. It's caught by the right fielder, Washington. And that's going to do it for Detroit. As we go to the top of the 10th, and it's 3-all, we're going to do a couple defensive maneuvers here. We're going to move Brookins to third. I believe Wayne Gross can play first. He's not good. Putman is equal. Okay, we're going to just switch them. We're going to put the better defensive third baseman in there. And we're going to put Wayne Gross at first base. So, okay, so great job there as Capizzello comes out to start the top of the 10th. And he strikes out Chambliss for the first out, 1 down. Rupert Jones 1 for 5 with 2 Ks against Cappy last year. And Jones flips it to left, caught by Kemp. 2 down. And here's that pest, Brian Doyle, blooping it into left center field. I think it's too high. It's going to hold up. Yep. And Kemp makes the play. So a chance for the Tigers here to put the game away as Weaver is officially tired at 116 pitches, but they're going to keep him in there with a full bullpen. And Gibson ends the game with a walk-off home run. Detroit wins 4-3. Consecutive games with home runs for Gibby. And that was an awesome victory. An early season walk-off, and man, it doesn't get any better than that. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. Well, there's the National League for you, as the Reds haven't lost yet. Neither has Boston. They're 5-0, as we're with Baltimore, 1.5 back at 4-2. And California leads the American League West. So let's take a look at the transactions. Nothing of note to mention, right? Yeah, that we've already seen those before. So let's go ahead and pull up the box score and we'll get out of here. Too bad for Morris. He actually pitched pretty well, but Capizzello will get that victory. And, man, I think Gibby's going to steal the player of the game from Alan Trammell, who went 3 for 4, but Gibby won the game. So we're going to give it to Gibson, making it his second player of the game early this season. Capizzello gets his second win. He's 2-0. And Parrish got his second double. Wayne Gross with his game-tying RBI double. Home runs for Hasse and Oscar Gamble for the Yankees. And Stefan Weaver, I don't know if the Yankees were thinking leaving him in there, but he takes the loss. He is 0-1. So that's going to do it for today's game. We will be back tomorrow as we head out to Kansas City to face the Royals with Cheese. Until then, we'll see you later.